All right, guys, we are back, and I am the Sports Trader, and we're going to dive into some more of these questions that you all have been sending out to me recently. Let's go to Jack. Jack says, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Major League Baseball season? Will there be a season, and how do you think it will play out? Well, Jack, there are a lot of things people are talking about right now. I don't have all the answers. I can only speculate just like everybody else is doing. Let me first tell you what everybody else is speculating on. What they're saying right now is that they're going to take all 32 teams, all of the players, and all the support staff, and move them all out to Arizona to where they have spring training facilities. And every team would be played in Arizona and broadcast on the Major League Baseball stations, the Major League Baseball channels, on the little pay-per-view thing that Major League Baseball has, and of course on some of their regular television contracts. The revenue that's generated from this would then be split amongst all the teams in order to keep the teams afloat until they can actually put people back into stands. Now, I think they're doing this for several reasons, but let's talk about how they're going to do it. So they would do it. You would go out, you would play your game in Arizona. You wouldn't be allowed to sit in a dugout with other players. You would have to sit in the stands separated by a certain distance, which is a little confusing to me, but okay. They would also not allow pitchers and catchers to meet at the mound anymore. They wouldn't allow pitchers and managers to meet at the mound anymore. And they're actually talking about having a robot call balls and strikes. So it's getting a little crazy right now, if you're asking me. In my personal opinion, that's getting a little crazy. You've totally sanitized and desensitized the entire baseball process. The fact that it is a team game and there'll be nobody in the stands. The players won't be able to interact with each other. I mean, can you tag a player as he slides into second? I mean, will there be any of that? Are you allowed to tag people? Are you allowed to when they run by the base? Do you have to move out of the way as they come by? I don't know. If I take the ball, I'm out in the outfield. Have you ever watched an outfielder out there? Have you ever watched a baseball player? They're licking their fingers, putting the spit in their glove. Then they catch the ball in their glove and they take the ball and they throw the ball in. And the next guy gets it and he puts it in his hand. Then he throws it and then he takes his hand and he wipes the sweat off his face. I don't know. Things are going to have to really change here, but I don't know how they're going to get away with it. But that's my opinion. And my opinion is also based on a couple of other things, which I like to call data. Everything we do at Sports Trading Systems is all based off of data, numbers. I'm a big numbers guy. I love numbers. I love patterns. Let's talk about this. The Major League Baseball right now, they make, let's see, what did I see here? They make $1.3 billion projected for last year. That's what they were projected to have made last year. The numbers aren't public. These are all made off of projections of what people know about their television contracts and things like that. So the projection is that last year they made $1.3 billion from television contracts. That money doesn't go directly to a team. It goes to Major League Baseball, and then the money is dispersed amongst the other teams. Now, how much does that leave for each team? It leaves $43 million for each team. So each team would make $43 million. Now, there are 162 baseball games in a year. Each team gets 81 home games. Now, during those home games, that's when they get to really make their money. So if they average 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people at every game, they make a tremendous amount of money at the gate, and that belongs to each team. And that explains why a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates have a salary cap on their team of like $40 million. That's what they spend for the entire team. And why the Yankees can afford to have a salary cap of $250 million for their team. So it's all about the revenue that they bring in. They share the television revenue, and then they keep all the individual revenue that comes in. If they play in Arizona, they will completely give up that individual revenue. Now, they would do this, in my opinion, for a few reasons. And I try to think about this as a business person. For those of you that follow me, you know that I've owned a couple multi-million-dollar businesses. So I'm aware of branding. I'm aware of customer loyalty and things like that. So my thought process is this. If you go through baseball and you say, well, if we see a light at the end of the tunnel here, we know that by July we're going to be able to put people in the stands. Then you would do it now just to keep people familiar with what the brand is. You don't want the brand to die. You don't want the brand to fade away. You don't want something else to fall into people's consciousness. For the casual listener, the casual sports fan, you don't want them to find something that would actually make them want to watch something else. So when baseball comes along, they're not as excited. UFC right now is licking their chops. There's a reason why Dana White's out there buying an island so he can have the next UFC event, because he knows that he has a captive audience in front of him. And these other sports companies don't want to lose that. There's a reason why the WWE, professional wrestling, is holding events with no one in stadiums. in these arenas because they don't want to lose their fan base. So Major League Baseball looks at it the same way, and they're like, well, we won't have the crowds, we won't make as much money, but we won't lose that ability to move forward as a strong top 3 brand of sports in America. Now, I am hoping amongst anything else that we actually go forward and have baseball season because from a personal standpoint, I'm a huge sports fan, and as most of you know, I'm a sports trader. I trade sports like you trade stocks. So last year for baseball season, I made 171% of my money. So I would love to be able to do that again in baseball season. So bring on the baseball, bring on the rawhide. Let's make it happen. Let's go to our next question. Question number 2 for today comes from Mary Beth. Mary Beth asks, where are you right now? That's a good question. Again, for those of you that follow me, you know that I do travel a lot. I'm always around someplace here and there. I have a home in Pittsburgh, and I also have a home, I have a condo in Thailand that I stay in, a penthouse in Thailand that overlooks the Gulf of Thailand. Great condo, love the place. I'm not either one of those places right now. I was actually in the Philippines hanging out with some friends when all this pandemic thing went down. I was renting an Airbnb condo, and I got stuck here. The entire Philippines is on lockdown. So there's nothing that I can do. I can't leave the place. I happen to have a couple friends I was staying with that are at the condo next to me. So they come over and visit, and I've got a lady friend who's staying here with me as well. So I'm not completely alone, but I'm pretty locked down. So just like you, I'm trying to find things to do to occupy myself, and I've been kind of diving into all the other sports stuff that I do. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm in the Philippines, along with everybody else. The only thing open here are grocery stores, pharmacies, and I believe the hospital. And I'm lucky I haven't had to go there yet. So that's it for now. If you guys have more questions, you can send them in. By the way, for those of you that don't know, that have listened on the podcast or are watching this on YouTube and don't know exactly what it is I do, you can go check out what we do at sportstradingsystems.com. That's sportstradingsystems.com. That's our website. Peruse around, check out some of the articles. We're educating people and teaching people about a brand new thing that's called sports trading, where we trade sports just like people trade stocks. And it's a great way to make money. It's a great investment. I can tell you a lot more about it as we go along. But if you have questions, you could also send them to me right there too, or send them to my address, which is john@sportstradingSystem.com. Talk soon.